guys, a happy Thursday. It's Joe, and it's time for Pikkit with Joe. NHL playoffs, I tell you, what a wild ride they are. I was really disappointed by Evander Kane getting that empty netter last night. You guys know we had the Kings plus 1.5, but we made some nice money on the Florida Panthers. Hopefully you guys tailed that, taking them plus 1.5, and that you sprinkled on that money line. Matthew Tkachuk came out nice, and that was a very heavy hitting game. These teams just going at it. Great games, definitely on the board yesterday. We got some nice winners. Now, Marc-Andre Fleury was announced late for the Minnesota Wild, and I hope that you guys heard me over on a Sports Grid last night saying if Marc-Andre Fleury jumps in that net, make sure you hit the Dallas Stars on that puck line. And that's exactly what happened. So hopefully you guys got that, cashing nicely on the Stars. They absolutely dominated in that game. Tonight, we have 4 incredible games here. Game 2 of the series between these 4 teams. So big shout out to each and every one of you. Shout out to you, Big Sis, riding with the Tampa Bay Lightning to come out, get another win. I tell you, Toronto goes down 2 games at home. They are in absolute trouble. So we'll see what happens in that one. Big shout out to you as well, Matt. I hope your Thursday is absolutely phenomenal so far. So there's a lot of things we're going to look at for these 4 games, you guys. We're going to look at some goalie props because I really do believe in hitting these goalie props. We hit Korpisalo yesterday for his oversave shots. We were unable to get Stuart Skinner as the LA Kings really were limited by the Edmonton Oilers to get those shots on Skinner. So we weren't able to cash that one, but we did cash the rest of the goalie props. We had Igor Shesterkin to the over. We had Alex Lyon, his save shots to the over, and Korpisalo and Skinner. So we went 3-1 in those goalie props. That long shot parlay did not hit because the Islanders and the Canes went over 5.5. I tell you, I was frustrated with that because we had the Panthers plus 1.5, the Dallas Stars on the money line, and the first period over 1.5 between the Kings and the Edmonton Oilers. So pretty solid day yesterday on Pikkit with Joe. Let's try to make some more freaking money. I tell you, I'm loving the playoffs. Let me know what you're thinking so far of the playoffs, what you think of these 4 games tonight, if you think Toronto can bounce back. We're going to talk all about this, you guys, so hang around. Let me know what you're thinking. The first game, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I'm just going to make sure we have seen no shift in odds here. So the Tampa Bay Lightning coming in after getting the huge dominating win. They're plus 140 here on the money line if you like them. The book's expecting the Toronto Maple Leafs to come out stronger, have a bounce back game. They're coming in at minus 170. This total 6.5, juice to the under at minus 122 to the under, plus 100 to the over. Now, if you like the Leafs on the puck line, you're laying 1.5 at plus 158. And if you like the Lightning, plus the 1.5, it's too juiced at minus 192. So if you do like the Lightning to come out, get another dominating win here, taking that reverse puck line definitely would get you some beautiful plus money. So game 1 was in Toronto. This is game 2 here. We saw the Lightning get the upset win 7-3. The whole problem with the Leafs, and I think the major problem was that first period, we saw the Lightning go up 3-0 in the first period. We were riding the over 1.5. We had both teams to score, but we hit the over 1.5, and that's what we're going to do in this one again tonight. But I do think it's because both teams score. I think we see the effort out of the Toronto Maple Leafs right out of the gate, and they come out in this one swinging. So I'm going to take the over 1.5. Now the over 1.5 is minus 126. Both teams to score is plus 174, and I do think that comes in. Braden Point has been so strong for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Ryan O'Reilly for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now we hit both of them on their points to the over in the last game, in game 1. We're going to do it again here. But I also like William Nylander here to come out strong for the Maple Leafs. I think he has another fantastic game here. Now, Bunting is suspended, so we won't see him after he had that high check to the head. He won't be back till he's got a 3-game suspension. So this is game 2, game 3, game 4. We'll see him back in game 5, you guys. Now, when we look at how these teams did, the stats from that first game. We saw the Toronto Maple Leafs actually win 55.6% of the face-offs. Now, on the power plays, we saw the Lightning really capitalize. They went 4-8 on the power plays, and we saw Toronto go 2-4 on those power plays. Now, Toronto actually came out as a harder hitting, more physical team. They got 42 hits in that one, and the Lightning 39 hits. Shots on goal wise, we did see the Lightning be able to get some more shots on goal, but not astronomical numbers for how many goals they put up. They did put up 7 goals, only on 34 shots on goal. So this was a really bad night out of Samsonov. We know he got pulled. I am looking for a bounce back out of Samsonov in goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs in this one. So I do think there is a value looking at his save shots on goal. He's coming in at 27.5 save shots on goal to the over at -104. I do think this is another game where the defense of the Maple Leafs allows these shots to come in by the Lightning, and Samsonov can go over that number. I think this number is a little low. I would have expected this one to come in at 28-29, but I think with what we saw in game one, the books are reacting as well. So give me Samsonov over 27.5 save shots on goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Gonna look at Braden Point for those points tonight. Gonna look at Ryan O'Reilly for the points tonight, and William Nylander. So the later of the 3 are with the Toronto Maple Leafs, Braden Point with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And that first period, over 1.5 at -126. Yeah, he is out, and we don't know when he is going to be out. It is going to be hard for Tampa in this one, but this team is so deep. I'm not sure if I'm willing to back Toronto until I see what they do. I do think both teams will score in this first period, and that is the best way, I think, to take this game for myself anyways. At +174, extreme value here, but this has to be a game where we see the Toronto Maple Leafs come out of the gate hot. If they get down in this one, I tell you, and Austin Matthews has to show up, you guys. We saw Austin Matthews barely do anything in the last game. So looking for a turnaround of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Little cautious on taking them for the win. If you were to take them here, I would take them in that first period to come out hot out of the gate. In that case, I hope it's a 2-1 first period, because I do want both teams to score in the first period, high scoring first period. And I do think the first period is high scoring. I'm cautious of the full game. I do think defenses and goaltending will lock down after that first period. So that's what I'm looking at, you guys. Let's move on to the next game here. The New York Rangers, who made us some freaking money in game one. We're getting them as an underdog here again. Just not sure how confident I am in hitting them at +110 tonight versus the New Jersey Devils. Now, game one, we saw the Rangers completely dominate that one. They won it 5-1. Now, in this game, what we saw, the Devils won the faceoffs. They're at home. They were 0-4 on the power play. We saw the Rangers go 2-3 on the power play. The Rangers put up 30 hits by the New Jersey Devils. The shots on goal is actually pretty outstanding. Igor had a phenomenal game. He only faced 23 shots by the New Jersey Devils. 28 shots by the New Jersey Devils. 23 shots were put on Vanacek by the New York Rangers, and there was 5 goals in that game. So looking at this one, I am looking for a stronger night out of Vanacek here. He does have to play a better game. I'm looking for, though, the New Jersey Devils to get more shots on goal. We know the Devils average right around 35 shots on goal, just under at 34.4. They were very limited by the Rangers, especially in that first period. So I am looking for a turnaround out of the New Jersey Devils. I do think this game has the opportunity to go to overtime. And if this has the opportunity to go to overtime, I think it's an over game, because I do think this is 3-3 going to OT. So there's a bunch of things I'm going to hit in this game, put some money on a bunch of places. I do think the Devils have to come out hot out of the gate and hit Igor quick. So I'm going to look at the Devils on the money line in that first period. That home team that's gone down, that's being upset in the playoffs, I really like them to come out and bounce back in that first period. So the Devils in the first period, -130. I'm also going to look at the Rangers team total, because like I said, I think this one goes over. We only need 3 goals out of the Rangers. They got 5 in the last one. Their team total over 2.5 is -126. So I do like that. Can the Rangers win the full game? Absolutely. But I'm not going to take a side in this one, because I am going to take it to go to overtime. +340 to go to overtime in this. That will come down to a little bit of puck luck. And I'm going to take that over 5.5 in this one. Now, Patrick Kane and Tarasenko came out so phenomenally strong in the last game. So did Chris Kreider. He got 2 goals, and Adam Fox got 4 assists. So looking at the goals, looking at the assists of all 4 of those players, another strong way to go in this one. But we cashed Jack Hughes on the other side for that anytime goal. We didn't get him, though, for his shots on goal. He had 3. He needed over 3.5. So that one was a little weak for that prop, but we did, and I do think we'll see this Devils team turn things back around and get more shots in this game tonight. So I would ride Jack Hughes. Again, I think he's such a key player for the New Jersey Devils. I think this team comes out very strong in this game. I think it's competitive. I think it goes over. I think the first period probably goes over the 1.5 as well. So you guys, hold on. This is going to be quite the game of the night. Give me OT at plus 340 as one of my favorite bets of this game. Rangers first period and money line for Benji. Shout out to you too, Chris. Happy Thursday. I don't know why I'm blanking on the day. I saw the garbage truck go down the alley today, and I was like, oh man, it's Thursday. I thought it was Wednesday. I'm losing days, you guys. It is going to be in the first 10 minutes. I do think a goal comes in quick. I'm with you. The Devils do need a little bit more time to mature. This is a young team. The Devils are they're very young. There's so many players on this team that haven't been in the playoffs before. When we look at the New York Rangers, they are so complete on both sides of the puck. They have the goaltending, they have the defense, they have the offensive power. Just with the limited shots on goal in the last game, I was really impressed with what the Devils were able to do in that one, and they did control the faceoff. So I do think this is one where you see the Devils come out strong to start this game. Hold on, you guys. It's gonna be phenomenal. And you know, David, we're taking Igor Shesterkin over his save shots. So Igor Shesterkin coming in at 31.5 save shots. The last game versus the Devils, he only faced 28. We were not able to go over on his number because the Devils just didn't get enough shots in that one. So I am looking for the Devils to get more shots. They average right around the 34.4 shots on goal per game. I do think they get those shots in this one. I think they find a way to get around the New York Rangers offensively or defense. So I think offensively, the Devils come out. Igor needs to stand on his head again in this one. So I am taking his over 31.5 save shots on goal. Let's look at the next game on the board, you guys. Seattle Kraken and the Colorado Avalanche. And remember, 2 nights ago, all of these underdogs won. And it's not like any of them locked out winning. They all dominated. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be absolutely wild on the ice tonight. All of these teams that lost the first game, do or die kind of feeling when you've lost that first game of the playoffs. So especially the home teams like Vegas and Colorado and the Devils here and the Toronto Maple Leafs. All the home teams lost, you guys. So the Seattle Kraken taking on the Colorado Avalanche. This one is at 9:30 Eastern, total of 6. Now the Avs coming in as major favorites after the Seattle Kraken got that upset win. They won it on Tuesday, 3-0. So leading the series right now out of a team that finished, 4th in the Pacific. I was really shocked. I was blown away by how strong the Seattle Kraken came out in the last one. Now we took Grubauer's save shots on goal to the over. We're going to hit it again. I do think Grubauer comes out. He is pivotal for this team. Save shots on goal tonight is coming in at 29.5 at -116 to the over. We're going to ride him again. Georgiev expected here for the Colorado Avalanche, and I'm not going to touch his saved shots on goal because I look at the Seattle Kraken. They're only averaging right around 30 shots on goal per game. The Avs allowing these shots to come in. But I do think this is a game where we have to see the former Stanley Cup champions in the Colorado Avalanche get things on track. Now, could they lose this game and still pull off this series? Absolutely. That's how much faith I have in this team. We rolled them last game in that first period on the puck line. It didn't cash for us, you guys, and it was plus 140. Today, we can take them on that puck line at plus 135. And I do think that is where the value comes in this game. Looking at Colorado to answer back off that disappointing loss on Tuesday night. Looking for the Kraken to come out and struggle offensively. They put up 3 goals in the last game. I'm going to take their team total under 2.5. That's coming in at -135. I think Colorado's defense really has a phenomenal night in this game. I'm leery of the full puck line here for the Colorado Avalanche. Could we see the empty netter come and Colorado cover that puck line? Absolutely. I don't like relying on those empty netters coming in because I do think this is a tight one. But I also do think this one has another opportunity of going to overtime because the Seattle Kraken played so hard. 2-2 going to overtime, I could absolutely see it. Now, if it's 3-3 going to overtime, that's going to absolutely screw my Seattle Kraken under 2.5 bet. But I hope that doesn't come in. But I could see it if the Kraken pull their goalie, and that's the only way I think the Kraken score 3 goals, is if they pull their goalie and they're ended up with that extra man advantage finding the back of Georgios net. But I do have faith in the Avs here to win that first period on the puck line, laying the half a goal. We have no goalies pulled. Could you imagine if they start pulling goalies at the end of the first and second period? That would be absolutely insane. The first team that does that, I'm going to be speechless when I see that happen because we know now we put it on the universe, it's going to happen. If you think the Avs are in for a big night, which I'm cautious of, the over 3.5 for the Avs to bounce back majorly after only getting 1 goal is -112. I'm not going to touch it, you guys. I do think Grubauer is too strong of a goalie in this one to allow an easy 4 goals by Colorado. I think if they end up getting 4 goals, that's because we've gone to that 3-3 situation into OT. And then the Avs have found a way to win it. Now, looking at how these teams came out, their stats from the last game, we did see the Avs win 56.4% of those faceoffs. They went 0-2 on the power play. Both these teams, penalty kill was amazing. Neither team scored on the power play. The more physical team was the Seattle Kraken. They got 40 hits. The Avs only registering 39 hits. But the Avs, they got these shots on goal. And this is the thing where I really do think the Avs have to come out strong. They got 35 shots on goal in the last game. They just couldn't find the back of the net at all. I think these shots come in tonight. They find the back of Grubauer's net, but it's not going to be easy, you guys. So the Seattle Kraken, on the other hand, only put up 30 shots on goal. The bets for this one are the Avs in the first period on that puck line laying half a goal at +135. The Seattle Kraken's team total under 2.5 at -135. This game to go to OT at +370. I really hope it's not 3-3 going to OT. I hope it's 2-2 going to OT. And Grubauer, save shots on goal over not 229. You imagine if he saved over 229, 29.5 save shots on goal, -116. So Chris, loving the Avs as well in the first. I do think so. It definitely is a revenge spot here. And you are so welcome, David. You like Colorado in the first period. I like it too. It's definitely a good one to hit in this one. Still like the under though. Yeah, I think this is a first period. We open up. I really hope it's 2-2 if it goes to overtime and not 3-3 going to OT because I want to cash everything in this one, you guys. But cashing that overtime bet at +370, I think has so much value there. The last game on the board. This is going to be wild. I was totally on the wrong side of this game last time. I didn't think we could see the Winnipeg Jets come out as strong as they did. Now, I was blown away by how solid Kyle Connor was. He was absolutely on fire for the Winnipeg Jets. And something you have to remember, this guy he plays like the world depends on him getting the win. And I know a lot of athletes play this way, but there's something different about when you see Kyle Connor on the ice. There's this spark, and he just comes to life in some of these games, and he was absolutely phenomenal. Now, looking at Connor Hellebuyck, he had a really solid game as well. Connor Hellebuyck has been a question mark goalie for me, especially on the road. At home, he was always that goalie. We looked at the unders because he can make those saves at home. But still, we had some inconsistencies. We've had inconsistencies out of the Winnipeg Jets. They fought their way into the playoffs to take on the Vegas Golden Knights. And I really did think Vegas would come out so phenomenally strong in that first game. Now, the first game, they were so high on the money line at minus 150. Now they're minus 165. Everyone expecting them to answer back and answer back easy. I don't think this is an easy answer back. I do think this is another game that has a possibility of going to OT. This one at plus 350 to go to overtime. Now it's plus 140 here for the Winnipeg Jets. So no value on the puck line here. But this is one that I do think is that 1 point game out of these two. And hopefully it's a 1 point game because we get that win in OT. When we look at the last game, we know the Winnipeg Jets blew out Vegas. And I don't think, honestly, you guys, when I watched that game, that we could see Vegas come out and play worse than they did in the first game, unless they don't even come out on the ice. Vegas looked absolutely terrible. And terrible is an understatement for how this team looked coming out the ice. Their shots on goal, if you would have told me going into this one, you could take Vegas for over 17 shots on goal, I would have bet my house on it. They hit 17 shots on goal on Connor Hellebuck. The Winnipeg Jets came out, locked them down completely defensively. The offense of Vegas wasn't able to do anything. Jack Eichel wasn't able to register a point. He'd been on a point streak. We look at the Winnipeg Jets. They normally allow 30 shots on goal per game. Like I said, Vegas only had 17 shots on goal per game. Now, the Winnipeg Jets put up 31 shots. They won at 5-1. And I tell you, I was screaming because I had the under. We had the useless goal. I really wanted this one to stay under that total. We weren't able to cash it. So that's where my best bet was in this game. Looking at this one again with Kyle Connor on fire, I tell you, taking him for the anytime goal plus 175 just looks too good to be true. I can't turn away. I'm going to look at Jack Eichel for an assist as well at plus 128. Now, before the last game, he was on a streak for points. He had 1 goal and 11 assists in 9 games. So he has been playing so strong until this game. Now, Carlson got the only goal for Vegas in the last game. Vegas still won those faceoffs. They won 53.7% of the faceoffs. The Jets were able to capitalize on the power play, going 1-3 on the power plays. Vegas wasn't able to capitalize on the power plays. Vegas was a bigger hitting team, higher hitting team. 65 hits in that game, only 51 for the Winnipeg Jets. The shots on goal, like I said, 17 versus 31. I still cannot believe that we only saw 17 shots out of Vegas. The defense of the Jets just way too strong. So, you guys, this is going to be an interesting one. I do think I'm just going to ride the under 5.5. I do think this one has the opportunity to go to overtime plus 350. I think this one going to OT is 2-2. I do not see this one going 3-3 into OT. So, you guys, I'm already stressing these games. Let me know what your stress level is for these playoff games. I tell you, they are absolutely thrilling and exciting, but nothing is over till that last second. Like we saw Edmonton blowing the 2-goal lead again last night, letting the Kings tie that back up. Nothing is safe. So I don't know when you guys feel safe. I don't feel safe till that final buzzer goes. And then I don't see the refs reviewing something, because we've seen that final buzzer go and then the refs reviewing something and you're like, oh no, what is coming back? So right as that buzzer goes, it's going to be a great game. Great 4 games tonight on the ice. Let me know who you think blows out the other team. Of all 4 of these, do you see anyone blowing anyone else out of the water tonight? Do you see the big revenge spot coming for anyone? So let me know what you guys are thinking. Knights goalies injured are killing them. Yeah, absolutely. And, we saw Mark Stone back in his first game in the last one. I think a little bit of change up of lines. So I think that affected them. I do think Vegas in the first period, you guys, let me see what the odds were for Vegas in the first period, because I didn't give you that yet. Vegas in the first period, laying the half a goal at plus 165. I like these teams often upsetting loss to bounce back in this game. So especially in that first. So I'm going to take Vegas in the first period, laying the half goal, plus 165. You guys know I'm a sucker for that plus money. But at the end of the day, if we go 2 and 3 in our bets and we make the plus money on the 2, we're going to come out with a positive ROI. And that's what it is about, those positive ROIs. Being a lot of goals at the buzzer beater there. Absolutely have Chris. Jets to win the series. Lessman, you want the Jets to win the series? I don't know. This Jets team, they cost me some money this season. I would love to see Vegas go through and win the series, but look at those odds, 4-1 odds at plus 135 with how they dominated in the first game. I definitely think it is a great way to look. Now the Avs and Rangers, I'm with you. Parlaying the Avs and Rangers, I think is a nice way to go. I do think the Rangers are better than the New Jersey Devils. So I like where you're going. Wheeler goal is definitely worth a sprinkle there for sure. Kevin, you're going to bet the Rangers over 2.5 for their team total. I love it. I do think they get 3 goals. And the over 6.5 between Tampa and Toronto. I like that one. I'm a little cautious of that one. We know how high scoring the last game was. I think the over in the first period is where those goals are going to come in for the majority. The one thing I really did like, and let me pull up this number here, for Toronto is the positive we saw in that third period. The shots on goal for the Tampa Bay Lightning in the third period, guess how many? You guys start guessing in the comments. Don't look how many shots they had on goal. It was only, I'm going to tell you, it was only 5 shots on goal for the Tampa Bay Lightning in the third period versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. So if Toronto can come in and play that solid defensively for all 3 periods versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, Toronto has every opportunity to get the win. So we'll need Toronto to play a full 3 periods. I'm not convinced on this team yet. So I'm not going to take a side in this one. I just can't get there, but I do think Toronto needs to get this win tonight. Maple Leafs getting a swept. Burns over 3.5 shots last night. It was absolutely money, and I wish I tailed it, Benji. My problem is I go from this show, and then I get a couple other videos done, and I was not able to get on that in time. So congratulations, Benji, on getting that. You guys, let us know what you are cashing, because I know so many of you are cashing here night in and night out. Let everyone tail you. That's what this whole community is about. All of us making some money together. Benji, if you got anything else for us tonight, let us know so we can all tail you. I definitely have some time to jump on a couple more plays. I don't think Toronto has zero passion or energy. Toronto just is jinxed in the playoffs. I really do think. I do think Ryan O'Reilly is hugely impactful. Samsonov needs to come out better. So you guys, let's build a parlay. Let's do the best bets and recap this show. We're already 28 minutes into it talking 4 games. I promise you, if you guys wanted a 2-hour show, I could sit here and talk to you for 2 hours straight about NHL playoffs and where we're going. It's absolutely my favorite time of year. So I might go live tonight watching some of these games, interact with you guys. If you want, Benji cashed the Rangers first period so many times after the All-Star break. I love it. Yeah, Rangers in that first period, absolutely dominant. I'm going to pull up their numbers for next time because I have a site where I can find those, and it's been absolutely killer what they've been able to cash for us. So the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Toronto Maple Leafs recap here. I do think Toronto has a better game in this one. I'm going to look for Toronto to actually show up in the first period instead of just letting the Lightning skate all over them and put in 3 goals. I'm going to take the over 1.5 in the first period. I think that's where we see the goals come in and things maybe slow down a little bit. I'm cautious of this 6.5. I do think the first period over 1.5 and both teams to score both have value. And like I said, Toronto in that third period really did find a way to limit the Lightning's ability to get these shots on goal, holding them to only 5 shots on goal in that game. So Braden Point, anytime goal or points. Ryan O'Reilly, anytime goal or points. I prefer their points, you guys, and Nylander for his points as well. For the parlay, I'm going to take the Lightning and the Leafs over 1.5 first period. Now, when this hits, when we see a quick goal, when that number goes up to 7, that's when I would look at this full game to stay under the total if you believe, like I do, that we're not going to see a game that absolutely blows us out of the water with 10 goals. So in-game betting is beautiful in the NHL if you can have your book open and watch the game. So I definitely do recommend it, or join everyone over on Sports Grid live betting these games every single night. It's definitely been some money for sure. The New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils, you guys, the Rangers team total over 2.5 is too nice to pass up on. -126 for their team total over 2.5. I do know the Rangers have been absolutely phenomenal in that first period, but I'm going to take the Devils. I'm not going to take the puck line. I'm going to take the Devils on the money line. If we get both teams scoring, at least we get the push there with the Devils. It's -130 for the money line. I just think there's too much of an answer back coming into this game here for the Devils in the first period. Can they sustain it for the full game? Absolutely not. I think the Rangers are the better team. I'll be shocked if we do see the Devils pull off the upset tonight, but it's possible. We saw the Florida Panthers beat the Boston Bruins on the Bruins home ice last night. So anything is possible in the NHL. Any given night, any of these teams can pull off the upset. So it'd be crazy to think the Devils couldn't get a win here at home, but I really don't see it. So instead of getting on a side, I'll take the Devils in the first period on that money line. I'll take the Rangers team total over 2.5 at -126. I'm going to have a shot at overtime in this one. I do think this one is a 3-3 going to OT. I think the Devils just find a way to get these shots. They were really limited on their ability to get these shots in the first period. The Rangers just locking down. So +340 to go to overtime here. I've got to hit the over 5.5, and that's what I'm going to throw into the parlay. The Rangers and the Devils over 5.5 for this total. Now, if you want to live bet this one, we don't see a goal in that first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we're going to see this total drop down to 5. I do think we'll probably see goals in the first period, though. So I'm a little cautious of waiting on this number of 5.5. I think it is a generous number here. As for points in this one, Patrick Kane, Tarasenko, Chris Kreider, Adam Fox, all for the New York Rangers. Again, all of these players so phenomenally strong. We're going to take Igor Shesterkin for the New York Rangers as well. His save shots on goal over the 31.5. We know the Devils, if they can play all 3 periods, will get these shots here. And Jack Hughes, he's been a moneymaker for us. He got the goal last time. We had him over 3.5 shots on goal. He only hit 3. Look for him to get 4 shots on goal in this game. So I would take his over shots on goal. The Seattle Kraken and the Colorado Avalanche, you guys, we saw the Avs really struggle to score in that first game. I don't think they struggle as much, but I do think Grubauer has a really solid night. His number is low at 29.5 save shots on goal at -116. I'm going to hit it to the over. We're going to ride this again. He hit it in the last game for us. The Avs put up 35 shots in the last game, unable to find the back of his net except for once. Now, the Seattle Kraken dominated the last game, and I don't think they dominate again. I think the Avs defensively find a way to lock down the Seattle Kraken. Now, they only allowed the Seattle Kraken to get 30 shots on them. I think they really lock them down tonight. I'm going to take the Seattle Kraken's team total under 2.5 at -135. You guys know I have to ride the Avs in the first period on that puck line. We've ridden it for the last, 4 or 5 games. The last game it didn't hit, and it didn't hit one other time in those games. But I do think we keep riding the Avs right now in the first period, especially in this answer back at home situation at +135. Cautious of their team total. I don't like it to the over 3.5, but I can't bet it to the under. I do think this is a 3-3 or 2-2 game going into OT. I really hope it's a 2-2 game, because that means we'll cash the team total of the Seattle Kraken as well as going to overtime. This one to go to overtime is +370. I'm just praying it's not a 3-3. So that's where I'm sitting with this game, you guys. For the parlay, let's throw the Avs on the Avs. What do we want to do here? I'm debating between the Avs in the first period here on the puck line. Yeah, let's throw the Avs first period puck line. minus 0.5 at plus 135. I know it's a long shot to put into the parlay with plus money, but I do like it here because I can't get behind their team total. I just think it's asking a little bit much. The Winnipeg Jets and the Vegas Golden Knights, you guys. This game to go to overtime too at plus 350. Expecting a bounce back from Vegas in that first period. Vegas on that puck line minus a half goals plus 165. How can I not hit that? I do think this one stays under the total. I'm going to take the Jets and Vegas under for the parlay of 5.5. So that long shot parlay is the Lightning and the Leafs first period over 1.5. The Rangers and the Devils over 5.5. The Avs first period on the puck line laying a half a goal at plus 135, and the Jets and the Vegas Golden Knights under 5.5 for that game. I'm going to look at Kyle Connor for his points or the anytime goals plus 175. It looks like too nice of a play here not to take. And Jack Eichel, he needs to come out strong for Vegas today, for Vegas to have a shot. Jack Eichel for the assist at plus 128. Like I said, he was on a streak until the last game. He's had 11 assists in the last 10 games in total. So it's going to be a good one, you guys. I am so excited for this game here. What about both teams to score in the first period between the Kraken and the Avs? I can't get behind it only because I really do think the Avs win that first period. I look at them locking down on the defensive side, but Joe, you're going to make some great plus money. So I know that you love your Seattle Kraken. If you really do think they can hang around here, definitely grab both teams to score instead of hitting the over 1.5, because I do think if it goes over the 1.5, it is because the Seattle Kraken find a way to score. So all the best with that. Les Men, you are taking the Kraken plus 1.5 all 4 games of this season. And I agree with you. These are 1-goal games, and that's why I think this one has the opportunity of going to OT as well. Lower scoring, tight games between these two for sure. Yeah, 2 games, comebacks, absolutely. Maybe Avs first period does hit. Fingers crossed in that one. Don't think the Devils can beat the Rangers in a low-scoring game. Got to hit the floor. Yeah, I really do think the Devils are going to struggle to win a low-scoring game. That's not the MO of the New Jersey Devils. They need to come out strong. But that being said, they do a pretty solid job defensively. The Devils during the season held opponents to 2.71 goals per game and 28.2 shots on goal. New York Rangers as well, averaging an allowed 2.63 in the regular season and 29.3 shots on goal. But offensively, both of these teams so phenomenally strong. So Chris, is going to be really interesting to see how they come out. Kraken are going to sweep. They're going to sweep the Avs. Oh, Joe, I don't know about that one. That'd be quite the storyline of the season. McKinnon, Stamkos, Eichel, and Kreider anytime goals, Larry. I do like it. Definitely a great way to look. Majority of games have gone over the posted total this year in the NHL. And it'd be really interesting to see the majority of games that go over in that first period. And I think a lot of them. And then also looking, you guys, if all of a sudden we see some of these teams that we expect to come out and have a solid game here, really go down in that first period, live betting them on that puck line to come back has been phenomenal. You would have made so much money the last 2 games if you took the LA Kings plus, sprinkled on that money line in the first game. We know we didn't get it in the last game versus Edmonton, but these teams that are going down, that we expect these tight games, hitting them plus on that puck line has been absolutely money as well. Okay, you guys, that is it. Again, that long shot parlay is the Lightning and the Leafs over 1.5 in the first period. The Rangers and Devils over 5.5 for the game. The Avs first period on the puck line laying a half a goal plus 135. The Jets and Vegas under 5.5. I really do think the goalie props, Igor Shesterkin over 31.5 safe shots on goal for the New York Rangers. Samsonov for the Toronto Maple Leafs to bounce back. He was embarrassed in game 1. Over 27.5 safe shots on goal, minus 104. He needs that tonight for his confidence level. I'm not going to look at the Winnipeg Jets Vegas game, but I will look at Grubauer of the Seattle Kraken for his over 29.5 safe shots on goal. Again, the OT games are like Vegas and Winnipeg to go to overtime, Colorado and Seattle to go to overtime, and the New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils to go to overtime. I'm sprinkling on all of those. Tampa and Toronto, it will probably be the one game that goes to OT. I just don't see it. I think these two teams, we see the Lightning with some players out. Toronto still needing this win. I'm not sure, but I'm not confident enough in Toronto to bet them. So I can't get there in that game. But you guys, that is it. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. I appreciate you guys. If you could hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. And after we finish up this video, drop below the video over on YouTube what you're liking, what you're betting, where you think these upsets are coming. So you know there's a big upset coming tonight. You know one of these teams that's already down is going to lose, and they are going to have to travel to the opposing opponent's home and go in there 0-2 in the series. It's going to be an incredible night. I wanted to watch at the pub, but I'm not going to watch at the pub. You know why? Because I can't yell, can't scream, I can't change the channel. It's always fun here. You guys have a good one. Keep smiling. Let me know what you're going to buy if you cash big tonight. I bought shoes because the Rangers won last time. 2 pairs of shoes coming. Going to get some more shoes at the Rangers and the Avs, and everyone cashes for me here tonight. You guys have a good one. I can't wait for tomorrow. We'll talk about these games tomorrow. Join me back here at 3:30 Eastern. Bye, guys.